Hi, everyone. Time for us to focus on Shelton this and every week, brought to you by our community credit union. Vicki, we got a great guest in studio from the City of Shelton, Andy Arnes. Hello, sir.
Hello.
Hello.
Long
Good
time
morning.
no
Gosh,
see.
it's been a while here.
It's good to see you guys.
I've had a lot of great conversations with other representatives from the city. Today, we're talking and focusing on rain and stormwater drains.
Right.
The water's got to go somewhere.
It does. It does. Yeah, it rains a lot here. You
It
might have
surely
noticed.
does.
So, just throw a few numbers at you. Actually,
Please.
it rains about 67 inches a year here.
Okay.
Which is about 30 inches above the national average.
Wow.
So, a natural byproduct of that is some stormwater.
Yeah.
And kind of talking about what stormwater even is, it's so when it rains and there, a lot of the water soaks in naturally into the ground.
Yeah.
What stormwater is any water that's excess, right? That can't naturally soak into the ground.
Okay.
So it creates that runoff. And so, naturally in urban areas, we have a lot more concrete, blacktop, that kind of thing, which, creates that. And you've probably seen, water flowing down the street, all that kind of stuff. And so we have a very substantial, stormwater treatment system here and system. And so we have about, I think across the city, there's just over 600 storm drains, over 32 miles of that piping, storm drain piping,
wow.
That handles all of that. And so as this time of year, like you said, a lot of, excuse me, the leaves are falling, and that naturally will create that runoff comes and clogs those drains, and so you'll see the flooding, and so it's important to keep those clear so that water can run off.
Can just an average citizen do that?
Oh yeah, well, typically, especially if you stay ahead of it. So it's pretty easy just to clear that with a rake or something or a shovel, and get those leaves out of the way, or better yet, clear the leaves before it becomes a problem. Obviously, we have a lot of trees here too, and so that being said, if there are major areas where there is flooding or it's too severe, clearly we can call into the Public Works Department and have our guys come out and do that. And so and that being said, our crews are out there working hard. They are just trying to stay on top of this, but it can pile up really quickly.
Is that also the reason we've seen some of the street sweepers early in the morning?
Correct. Yep. Just trying to keep everything clear and out of the way. It's actually, and it is a significant part of water conservation actually. And so this flooding, you've probably been in a parking lot where there's you see that iridescent film on top of that.
Yeah.
And so when there's excess flooding, that's just that water is then really susceptible to picking up pollutants, contaminants like fertilizers, pesticides, that oil from all the cars and that kind of stuff. And so it's designed to be efficient, so not to create that flooding, and so it gets out and processes without as many contaminants as possible. But that's why it's so important to keep that flooding down, is just that it gets susceptible, and that those contaminants are then more
and it seemed like the leaves just changed like that, and then started falling on the ground, and I'm like, it's beautiful, because I'm new to this area, so it was just beautiful.
It is beautiful, but
after a while, you're like,
right.
Okay, we need to clean this up.
Right.
And you say 600
right.
storm drains across the city. Obviously, if Public Works had to go sweep off each one of those every day, that would make a mess. And so if you're walking by there, it doesn't take but 2 seconds.
Right.
And that's really can help in the long end.
Totally. Yeah. So make a big difference and make a big impact just while it's the problem is really minimal before it creates an issue. And our guys are stuck in that, because flooding, not only with a contaminant issue, but it can create damage from erosion. Obviously we've had properties that have been flooded and created damage to infrastructure and certain things. So it is an important thing. We have on our website, just want to mention, we've posted, so we actually have a map of where all the storm drains are, so folks can go in there. And typically it's pretty obvious where those are located. You see those on the street and whatnot, out on the road and the curbs and that. But there is a map, and they are marked on there. They're called catch basins. It's a little red square on that map, and you can see exactly where all those drains are throughout Shelton. And so if folks don't know where those are at just in their area, it's pretty easy to see where those are and go.
Oh, this is a cool map. We'll definitely get this posted.
It's kind of interesting.
They also have now those self-cleaning gutter things that you can put in your gutter.
Oh, I've seen that.
Have you seen them? And it kind of,
And again, that'll knock all the leaves onto the ground, and then
run
into the storm drain. I see what's going on.
Right.
For sure.
Yep.
Got to go somewhere.
Very cool.
I love it.
And after this is all said and done, the water goes into the drains,
Yep.
and then it goes, you said, to the stormwater, to the cleaning area.
Well, actually, the stormwater isn't treated. So we try to keep that out of the sewer system.
Okay.
So that's a whole different issue of getting stormwater into that inflow and infiltration, which we probably won't get into. But no, it just goes down and drains out into the aquifer and out into the sound eventually.
Okay.
So that's why it's important to try and minimize the contaminants that are picked up.
Very
And that's
good. Okay,
not uncommon. That's typically how stormwater works.
Yeah.
If there are significant issues, like I said, we don't want to be putting anybody at risk or anything like that. Call into Public Works. The number during normal business hours is 360-426-9731, which we'll have that posted online as well. But if there are issues, after hours or in the middle of the night, if there's a storm, something crazy going on, we do have a number set up for that, which is 360-426-4441. And again, those are posted all on our social media accounts and online. So, as
Very
it's
cool.
this time of year while people are, we're all working through that.
Yeah.
Things you got to
cool.
worry about.
Well, Andy, thank you. That's good information. We'll
Yeah.
post the links to this and,
Perfect.
and that map and everything. Good to see you.
Yeah, likewise. Thanks for having
Don't
me.
be a stranger so much here.
Absolutely.
It's 8